Rule was born as Rule Lester Bradley Jr. in Americus, Georgia, where he spent his early years. After graduating from Americus Senior High, he spent 4 years active duty with the Navy. Being a star baseball player in high school, the Navy soon found out about his wicked fastball, and Rule never swabbed another ship's deck. After completing his tour of Navy duty, he was drafted by the Detroit Tigers and played several years on the Tigers farm team. On a visit back to Americus, something happened that changed Rule's life. Here is Rule's daughter, Carol, to tell us about it.
My dad met my mom in his early 20s. He was in the Navy at the time, but he came home to Americus, Georgia. And he was driving his dad's car down the main street of downtown Americus, Georgia, when he spotted this young lady up on a ladder cleaning the windows of a jewelry store. Well, as he has told me, apparently he liked what he saw so much that he came back around the block and got up the nerve to go up to her and introduce himself. I believe their first date was to a drive-in movie and to Dairy Queen. And about 2 years later, they got married. Actually, my dad had to borrow some money to get married to my mom. But then they moved to Tallahassee together, where my dad finished up his last year at Florida State. And apparently, getting married to my mom was a good thing, because as he told me, he went on then to make straight A's.
After graduation, Rule first worked for the Duval Hotel as an auditor, but was soon recognized for his hotel business savvy and was promoted to assistant manager. Here are two of Rule's closest friends and long-term business associates to talk more about Rule's professional career and contributions to the hotel and tourist industry.
My name is Ron Yarborough. I am a 1965 graduate of Florida State University Hotel and Restaurant School. I first met Rule Bradley in 1969. I worked for Rule at the Round Holiday Inn and also the Parkway Holiday Inn. The Parkway was a sort of a glitch he had with Holiday Inn. He couldn't be the manager of both places, and they were about to open the new place, 69, the Round Holiday Inn. And when they opened the Round Holiday Inn, when the inspectors came to town, I had to run out to the Parkway and be the manager out there. And it was a little scam, but we kept it going. It was a little white lie, it was all right. I have always admired Rule. Rule was the best man at my wedding in 1975. And I can tell you that this is a man who I describe as a good man. A good man is the highest compliment I think a man can get. He did a great job. He always was successful. He has always been successful. Whether he was in Valdosta at the Holiday Inn, he came back here and worked with the Duval Hotel. He came further than that, and he went to work for the Holiday Inn, Parkway. Then he was recruited to go to Daytona Beach, Florida, and run a half a dozen big hotels for Tom Stead, a well-known hotelier here in the state. Other than that, I would trust Rule with my life. I would trust Rule more than any man I know. He is my best friend. And Rule, let me sincerely say, I am so glad that you've got the Frederick Clifton Moore Award. You deserve it more than anyone I know.
I'm Tommy Waits, a longtime member of our Rotary Club, and I am so pleased and delighted to hear that my good friend and longtime friend Rule Bradley has received the Frederick Clifton Moore Award. Our Rotary Club is composed of many great fellows and friends, and no one is more deserving, I think, than Rule. I met Rule during the 60s. Rule was a member of our club for some time. Early on, many may not know this, before he moved to Daytona to be a CEO of several, half a dozen hotels over in Daytona Beach for a number of years, and he returned after retirement and is back in our club. But I can't think of one who has just done more to really epitomize the service above self and the great values that our Rotary Club teaches us and provides to in so many ways to our community and others. Ruel, you may not know, is a Seminole. He graduated a couple of years after I did, during the 50s. He was a professional baseball player, believe it or not, a farm team with the Detroit Tigers back in the, before he went to college out in California. And of course, he's an Americus, Georgia native. And I have to tell you that I watched his career as a hotelier for 26 years. And he was a Hotelier of the Year one year. He was president of the State Lodging Association. He handled our political action committee for a number of years, and just was always stepped forward to serve in a leadership capacity and to help us. So, Ruel, I'm so proud and delighted to be a friend of yours, and congratulations on this wonderful tribute.
Here, Ruel is receiving the Hotelier of the Year award from the Florida Hotel and Motel Association in 1980. Ruel's list of awards and contributions to the hotel and tourist industry is almost endless. Here are just a few. Director, Southern Scholarship Foundation. Director, Volusia County United Way. Director, Daytona Beach Chamber of Commerce. Vice President, Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce. Director, Florida State Chamber of Commerce. Vice President, Florida Hotel Motel Association of Daytona Resort Area. President, Florida Hotel Motel Association. First Chairman, Tallahassee-Leon County Civic Center Authority. Trustee, Florida Hotel Motel Association Self-Insurers Trust Fund. President, Tallahassee Rotary Club 1976-77. President, Tallahassee YMCA. Even with so many accomplishments, Ruel found time for family. Here he is with daughter Carol and son Glenn. Let's hear a few final words from Carol.
Hi, I'm Carol Ellen Lochner, Ruel's daughter. People always say that actions speak louder than words. Well, that's definitely my dad. Ever since I can remember, he's never been one to talk about what you should do or what you shouldn't do. But I always knew what I should do just by following the life my dad has lived. For example, he always had time for the family. It didn't matter how many activities he was involved in, from managing hotels, being involved in his church, all the civic activities and volunteering, Civic Center, Rotary, FH&M. He always had time for my mother, myself, and my brother. And now, he always has time for my husband, Gene, and especially his granddaughter, Michelle. My dad has always made me proud my entire life, but I'm especially proud today that my father is receiving the Frederick Clifton Moore Award.
Please join me in recognizing Ruel Bradley, the Tallahassee Rotary Club 2012 Frederick Clifton Moore Award recipient.
I've always been proud of my dad, no matter what it was. He's never done anything to make me unproud, but I'm especially proud today that he is going to be receiving this award. He definitely, I'll try again. All right, what is this thing called again?
Frederick Clifton Moore Award.
Why does it have to have such a long name?